Welcome to the Mayhem News live wrestling broadcast with your host, the Man in Black, a.k.a. T-Mib Lives. And each week, we are here to talk about wrestling headlines and cover everything from Impact Wrestling to SmackDown. Join us each Tuesday via MayhemNews.com and the Mayhem News Live YouTube channel. You can subscribe to both and always keep up with our show and wrestling news. Hi, it's the Man in Black, a.k.a. T-Mib Lives, and this is Mayhem News Live Wrestling Broadcast for 1/28/2014. And yes, the show is late this week. I have been fighting my sinuses. The wife was sick. Some other things going on. Things we thought were pretty bad, but actually look like they're going to be very good. So I apologize for the show being as late as it is, but things can't be helped. Headlines, we're going to go ahead and start. Got a pretty big show today, so I'm going to go ahead and start. If anybody didn't know, George Scott, he was a key booker during the resurgence of Mid-Atlantic territory in the 70s, and also part of the expansion of the WWE in the early 1980s, died Monday night at 84 after a long fight with lung cancer, and we want to send his family and friends our prayers and thoughts. Matt Hardy and Velvet Sky was arrested after an incident of domestic violence against each other. Apparently they were fighting. No surprise there. But anyway, apparently they're having problems. Now, she says that she's not going to, not going to leave him. She's going to stand by his side. But yet they have restraining orders against each other. So, anyway, Jim Ross lands a job with Fox Sports. Way to go, JR. That's a way to rub it in somebody's face. Yeah, I had an article that I did on our Mayhem News site, and it pretty much it talks about what's going on with CM Punk, and it's rather I think it's rather an interesting, Mainly what I did was I saw that, at the time I wrote the article, it wasn't actually said yay or nay if he had actually left. Now, since that time, we know for a fact that right now, as far as we know, he is gone from WWE. I know that Vince McMahon has basically said that, he would love to have Punk back. Triple H has questions and concerns, but he is basically letting Vince McMahon, handle the thing with him and see it between WWE and CM Punk. This is not something new. This is something we've seen before. Now, however, last time it happened, it actually became part of a storyline. This case, I'll be honest with you, and hold on just a minute. I've got to get something here because I'm gonna go over the article real quick. But anyway, in this case, it's not part of a storyline, as far as we know. All indications point to basically that this being a legitimate walkout. He basically, the report goes, as he walked up, told Vince McMahon he was going home, walked out of the building, booked him a flight to Chicago, and, that was pretty much it. So, in my opinion, like I said, this is something we've seen before. The only difference is the fact that the last time it was actually, made into a storyline, and this time it doesn't look like it's going to be a storyline. Basically, what I wanted to talk about is last Friday, CM Punk had a Q&A with Wizard World. He was at a Comic-Con, and I'm trying to get this where I can read it. Yeah, he had a with a Comic-Con, and I'm going to go over some recaps, some things I had problems with, mainly. And don't get me wrong, after the Paul Bearer thing, I kind of, I kind of became a fan again when he started going against Brock Lesnar, and Heyman and all that good stuff. That was a good storyline. Basically, Punk said he didn't think Sting should come to the WWE because he doesn't have anything left in the tank. He also thinks that Sting would take another spot away from WWE's younger superstars who are trying to make it to the main event level. He also said the same thing about Batista. Now, my only problem with this is why don't he just be honest? By young talent, he means himself. All right, he's using the young talent and basically saying Bryan just so he doesn't say CM Punk. That's just the way I see it now. That's my opinion. And last time I checked, I had a right to my opinion. Basically, okay, other phone's going crazy. Everybody says he's pretty snappy backstage. He was hoping for a WrestleMania main event storyline. Basically, that when that did not happen, he got a little snappy. He's basically talking, when he says younger talent, he's talking about his health. He doesn't want WWE to pick up anybody as far as, signing any new talent. Basically because it's going to take away from him. When he found out he was going to be facing Triple H at WrestleMania, and that it really wasn't going to be a main event match, instead of taking, in the thoughts that it was a WrestleMania match, he pretty much got upset and, began to kind of throw a little tantrum. As far as Sting and Batista, the people that you spoke of saying that they don't have anything left in their tank, both men have something to contribute to WWE, just as Goldust has on his return, and teaming with his brother, the whole brotherhood thing. And most people are saying that, Goldust actually looks better than he did when he first debuted. Sting was the cornerstone of most of the WCW footage that they are about to start showing and be available on the WWE network. He was part of the Blade Runners. He was part of the Four Horsemen for a while. He was hinted that he was part of the NWO. Ended up being, that he wasn't. He was against them. And then next thing you know, he's part of the Wolfpack. He's been in every storyline that you could possibly think of in the WCW. Well, right now, all this footage is fixing to be available through the network, the WWE network. Well, they in the past have used people like DDP, Jake the Snake Roberts, people like that to promote stuff with the WCW, because a lot of the new fans that they have don't know who that is. They only see. Now, I'm pretty sure most people know who Sting is. And I'm not talking about the singer either. However, most of them don't. Some people don't watch TNA. Some people can't, take the pain of watching TNA just to see Sting. And I have a feeling that he will be a big part of that, and introducing those people to that WCW footage, as well as, that footage introducing him to the WWE universe. And not to mention, WWE has always wanted Sting. He himself has said that him and Vince McMahon used to have a phone call every time the contract was up with WCW. So, and Batista. Now, I do feel that Batista could have been used better, not just winning the Royal Rumble. He could have had more of an impact, but he didn't. So, I'm not a booker for WWE, but in my opinion, he could have had a bigger effect. So, well, that's basically, we had that article that I did on Mayhem News Live. And, just, I don't know. For CM Punk to sit up and say, well, I didn't get a WrestleMania 30 thing. And they've already pretty much said that if Sting does sign with the WWE, and there's there's more talk. And, it's coming from people that, usually when they say something, they're not making it up just to get ratings or anything. They usually know what they're talking about. People are saying that him and WWE have come to a agreement, or are discussing a agreement on the table. So And I have a feeling, like most are saying, that he will not debut. He will not come out to face Taker at WrestleMania 30. Mainly because, they need time to build stuff like that up. And, they're just not going to have the time, in the little bit of time that they got left because, he hadn't really signed a contract yet. He's not actually officially in WWE. So it's going to be rushed. I have a feeling if he does sign a contract that, like most people are saying, they will do a vignette during WrestleMania announcing his impending arrival. I'm hoping that's what happens. I think he would do a lot better. I figure he'll be here for a year, and then after that maybe go into the Hall of Fame and then just do his regular, show up and be a Hall of Famer, So, what are you looking for?
Sorry.
But I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. And if it does happen, I think that eventually you'll see Kurt Angle, and he's actually been quoted that there's only the bow of the ship showing from TNA. That's pretty much all that's left out of the water. So I don't know. Let's see here. TNA opens up. There's a big meeting of the minds about this new investor. And I use quote-unquote meeting of the minds as in pretty much sarcastic. Magnus calls out Sting. Why is Magnus so fake? Oh, I'm sorry. All I ever see when Magnus walks out is the gladiator mask he wore when he first showed up. Yeah. Samoa Joe will be in Sting's corner. Aries captures the X Division title from Sabin with no help from Velvet Sky, which I thought was cool. Outstanding match between Angle and Rude. That moonsault off the top of the cage. I'm pretty sure Jeff Hardy was sitting at home smiling. Probably said, "Yeah, I taught him that." Anyway, let's see. Abyss and Young seem to be on the same page, and since I've seen what happened in this week's TNA, yeah. Anyway, Magnus did defeat Sting, and his contract was destroyed, which people are saying, well, he had to. Hold on just a minute. He did 2 house shows after that. Well, there's a lot of talk about the reason why he did that is he still owed them 2 shows on his contract. So I don't know. It's kind of a waiting game, which we all hate. So Sting is supposedly gone from TNA, hopefully on his way to WWE, which will be cool to my point of view. But SmackDown, Big Show and Mysterio defeat the Real Americans. No big surprise there. We also have a big promo from Paul Heyman. Lesnar's not there, of course. Miz defeats Brodus Clay. AJ defeats Cameron. Ryback and Axel defeat Los Matadores. Harper and Rowan pretty much just demolished the Primetime Players. Kofi defeats Fandango, Goldust, Cody. Big E and the Usos take on the New Age Outlaws and the Shield. It goes to a no contest. Pretty much average show for a pre-pay-per-view week. Not nothing to write home about. It was better than some, but not, All right. Royal Rumble. Here's the thing. I'm only going to hit the highlights. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. By now, Daniel Bryan was not an entrance into the Royal Rumble. The big question was, is this a storyline or is it part of a political situation? It's really hard to tell. It could be part of the current underdog storyline or part of a higher political berry job. The only thing is with Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan talking about it on Twitter, 9 times out of 10, storyline. Anyway, Daniel Bryan takes on Bray Wyatt. Was actually most definitely the best match of the night. Bray and Bryant put on a show. The crowd's "This is awesome" chant was well deserved. It was an awesome match. All right, Lesnar versus Show was the biggest piece of bullshit that they had all night. Everybody knows that Lesnar can't get into the ring with the Big Show and actually look like the Beast incarnate, because Big Show would more than likely demolish the Lesnar. You know, it would have to happen. So, of course, they had to come in. He come in with a chair and pretty much cheats his way to a win. Pretty much makes us all think that his balls are really small. You know, anyway. Yeah, I would tell that to his face. Lesnar doesn't scare me. Anyway, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not scared that anybody goes, I mean, that's pretty much all he can do, because he can't cut a promo. I would be more scared of Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman could bury you with a microphone and never lay a finger on you, okay? Think about it. Yeah, okay. But basically, it was pretty much bull crap. You know, we had to make Lesnar look like a beast before WrestleMania, even though Lesnar hadn't been a beast since he left the WWE and started MMA, because you can't go into MMA as big as Lesnar was. You're going to get tanked, and you're going to lose. This is one reason why Batista doesn't look as big as he used to, because if you're going to MMA fight, you can't be this, you can't be the Hulk. You got to be Spider-Man, okay? And a shout out to the Spider-Man Silva, whatever his name is. Orton and Cena, yeah, it was something we've seen before. It was a great match, but it was, did we see that two pay-per-views ago? Yeah. Royal Rumble match had some funny and great moments. But we all knew Batista was going to win, which I have no problem with him winning. I do think that he should have been used a little more, had a little more impact. Only time will tell what his true impact on the WWE in general will be. I think it would give the roster a boost. I look for him to go full heel, though, pretty much. Raw, Triple H and Stephanie claimed that the Royal Rumble was the most successful pay-per-view and get booed the whole time. It's really funny. And Triple H does a pretty good ad-lib and makes fun of the crowd for, oh, did someone not get what they want? Yeah, check your buy rates next pay-per-view. You'll see. Bryan demands an Elimination Chamber match. Shield come out, which Cena and Sheamus come out to help Bryan, and that sets up a 6-man tag for later on in the show. Swagger and Cesaro defeat Mysterio and Sin Cara. R-Truth defeats Fandango. Ziggler defeats The Miz. The Usos defeat Ryback and Axel. Del Rio defeats Kofi. Pretty much the matches were great. It was all right, but it really wasn't nothing. You know, nothing really happened that I truly want to talk about. So I just gave the results. Goldust and Cody versus New Age Outlaws is for their rematch clause. Of course, Lesnar stops a great match with his bullcrap. Total Divas defeat AJ, Tamina, Xana, and Alicia Fox. John Cena, Sheamus, and Bryan going to defeat the Shield after the Wyatts calls a DQ, meaning Cena, Bryan, and Sheamus qualify for the Elimination Chamber match. And basically, this sets up a Shield versus the Wyatts, pretty much, because the Shield was not happy that the Wyatts caused the DQ. It's basically cut them out of the Elimination Chamber match. I'm kind of interested to see how when CM Punk left, you know, it kind of left a big gap in WrestleMania. Pretty much every pay-per-view between now and WrestleMania has been affected. With CM Punk gone, it pretty much sends a ripple through their creative, you know, what they can and can't do. You know, this was going to be Triple H's one-year match, you know, a match. He gets pretty much going to get a match every year. But, you know, I think it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how they have to affect everything. And is CM Punk truly gone, period? Is Vince McMahon going to continue to seek him and try to get him to come back to WWE? You know, a lot of people are saying that Punk protected his money very well and might have decided, hey, I got enough money, you know. Excuse me. But I don't know, I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they make the next pay-per-views until WrestleMania flow. I am happy to say that Jake the Snake Roberts is the second entrant into the 2014 Royal Rumble, which he actually wanted, by the way, but it didn't happen. He's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame along with the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior's tweets after they announced that Jake the Snake was going in. He said, "Hey, I like this asshole theme, for going into the inductees for the Hall of Fame." He said, "Why don't we stick to that?" All right, which ass rings that he could actually get is really interesting. So, but that's been the show. I want to give some shout outs, talk about the Fight Disability Slurs .wordpress.com. Me and my wife's trying to let people stop using slurs in general, but mainly our primary goal in that is to stop disability slurs. But we're after everything. It doesn't matter what it is. I also want to give a shout out to Throttle, a very, very good band, has given us the rights to use their song New Blood as our theme song, which is the song you heard at the little promo before this show. And I appreciate them. They do have a new album out. All of their stuff can actually be found on Amazon and iTunes. Their new album is Razor Wire Finish Line. It is out now. As far as I know, the only way you can get it is iTunes right now. They have not started to put it out on CD, except for when they go to live shows. So if you happen to be in their area, go to one of their live shows. You can actually buy a CD, but you can always download it to your iPod or your phone or your computer. I want to give a shout out to Blast 52, which is a Irish band that me and my wife know the band members from. If you want to follow their main Twitter, you can follow Joey on @Blast52, and their drummer Stephanie, you can actually follow her at Blast52drummer. And you can find their stuff on Amazon, iTunes. I actually have the link on their the little graphic that I put at the end of the show, and you can buy all their stuff. I'm actually going to try at the end of this show. I'm actually going to try to post one of their videos. I don't know if it's going to let me do it. So if I don't, I'll try to do a special thing where I post it just on the webpage. Because I have to be able to download it onto my phone for the video to work. So we'll see. So just look for at the end of the video, right after the show goes off, before the graphics run, I'll play that video, and then the graphics for the advertisers will actually, my sponsors and stuff. If you happen to be where you can go see Chance Prophet wrestle, and you can follow him on YouTube, that's at Chance Prophet. Just spell it like it sounds. 2 words. You can find him on YouTube. And you can follow him on Facebook and Twitter. He's a great indie wrestler, great guy. We did an interview with him. I'm hoping in the near future to do another interview with him by phone. Excuse me. But if you happen to be around where you can go see one of his shows, great. He has a lot of his matches actually on YouTube, and all of his promos usually end up on YouTube. So they're creepy and funny at the same time. So check him out. And I appreciate everyone who watches the show. And that's pretty much the show for this evening. Have a nice day.